Everyone on this planet has have has had some form of traumatic experience. And traumatic experiences could be from having a car accident, having a really harsh upbringing, having something taken away from you, property, money, relationships. There is something that has happened to everyone in some traumatic way or a negative way or something that hasn't, something bad. However, whatever level that is for you, but it has happened. So when that has happened to you, either people play victim to it and succumb to it and keep continuing to get triggered by those emotions. And when I say that, I don't mean that you should forget it or that you should accept the pain or the emotions. What that is just seeing the perspective of that situation. Because one small change in that perspective, in a positive perspective, in that situation, in that experience, in that emotion, in that pain threshold, you can see a glimmer of light in a positive level. And when you open that crack and just see the positive and perhaps just see the perspective of that situation, it will then filter through to other things. It may filter through to less pain of that trauma, of that pain. It might lessen how you feel in staying there, having a lesser reaction to it. Just giving yourself a bit of leeway, a bit of kindness, a bit of love to not stay the victim of that situation. We all have been a victim in a traumatic event. As I said, everyone has gone through one. Everyone has gone through a situation, whatever level it is for you. All I would like to really say is to go into that and see a different perspective. See how you felt. What is it in that situation that was happening around you? What was happening to that person? Were they succumbed to the same trauma? Were they repeating something that was traumatic to them? And looking at what you can gravitate to and uplifting yourself up in seeing a different perspective, that can open up an even wider and even broader kindness to yourself, a bit more compassion of love to not only yourself, to the situation, how it's helped you evolve. And if you haven't figured that out, maybe seeing how can it evolve you and expand you, how you can have gotten out of that situation and seen a really grander perspective. I was in a situation where I was the lowest of low and didn't know what to do, where to go, how to do things. It is just knowing that things are happening for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. If the reason is for you to learn something from that situation, if it is about you having to really go down and be down there in that denseness, to be the lowest of lowest in your life, it can give you courage to not stay in there. It can give you motivation. It can give you inspiration. It can give you love for yourself and others. If you were to see how many people are out there, actors, business people, motivational speakers, spiritual leaders, avatars, if you looked and heard their life and their journey, it's not always a bed of roses. It's not always built with a foundation that is always going to be perfect, that always going to be things handed to them, because it's not. And yet even for those ones that think that they're in a picture perfect scenario or picture perfect life, they don't have the opportunity to see the opposite. They don't have the opportunity to see, well, what is it like down there? What is it like to be able to dig yourself out from a situation? Some people don't ever have that. But then how hard is it always to be perfect? To always be consistently perfect, to always sustain wealth, always to stay popular, to be accepted, that's just as hard work than to be coming up from trying and getting out of a really deep hole, because you know that you can always grab onto something and hold something and carry yourself up. But sustaining that is so much effort. So if you are wanting to see what struggles that you're in and see how you can come out of it, or maybe get past a really traumatic event, a really hard situation in your life, whether it be business, work, relationships, something that happened to you in your childhood, really reflect on that and don't be fearful to go even into that situation, but just see and expand on a perspective that you can see that's positive. Open that crack of light, open that crack of positivity and love, that you can see a different perspective, because then that will then ripple and open up more different perspectives, more understanding, more awareness, more space. And I really believe that can change so much in your life.